welcome everyone to the Business Growth Podcast. Today, I'm here with Hana from HiCom Care. We're actually both based in Melbourne, and we've got a sunny Friday here. Welcome to the show, Hana.
Hi everyone, my name is Hana, and thank you so much for the invitation to join the podcast.
No worries. It's good to have someone in the same city as me. I've had quite a few people a bit all over the world, but it's good to have someone in the same city. It'll be interesting. So yeah, how about we kick things off? Tell us a little bit like about yourself and kind of like what you do at HiCom.
Yeah, so basically I set up HiCom Accounting actually. February 2019, we do accounting services and tax for businesses. I started off with the Vietnamese community, and then after that, HiCom Care was born as the NDIS plan manager. So NDIS plan manager is like, you do accounting for NDIS participants. So we sort of like having two departments in one company. Like other accountants, they would have accounting and financial planning. So we have accounting and also NDIS plan management. Because of the NDIS department, we end up having a lot of NDIS businesses as clients for HiCom Accounting. Majority of the time we support with basic accounting needs, which every business would need. For example, like BAS, payroll, bookkeeping, tax declaration. For the family groups, it could be individual tax return, partnership, company, trust. And then other time that I actually focus into growing businesses with my clients, and also grow my own business as well.
Okay, awesome. And when you say NDS, what is that exactly?
NDIS, like, have you heard of NDIS? Like National Disability Insurance Scheme.
Right. Okay.
NDIS, yes.
Yeah. Okay. NDIS.
Yes, so that one, and we have a lot of like NDIS businesses are our clients in the HiCom accounting space, and we also have a lot of NDIS participants in the HiCom Care space.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then in terms of with those different clients, what would you say is like the main focus that most of the work is that you do?
So for HiCom Care, like the NDS plan management, most of the work would be processing, which is like service providers and doctors and other business owners, they send us invoices for the services that they provided for NDS participants. So we would have to check invoices, making sure that the invoices make sense, like are correct, but we can't check on the hours. I'm sure that a lot of people saying like there's a lot of dodgy claims on NDS recently, and the reputation of NDS is not very good because of like in terms of hours of services, like they could be only support the participant for 1 hour and could be sending the invoice for 4 hours or 5 hours. There's no way that NDS plan manager can review that one, but we can always review like if they're charging like above the NDS rate or like anything wrong with the invoice, and then we would return them back for the wrong invoices, and then we put through the NDS system for the correct invoice. NDS end up paying us the payment, and then we forward the payment to the service providers on behalf of disabled NDS participant. That is for HiCom Care. For HiCom Accounting, we don't focus into individual tax returns. We only do businesses. So the majority of work would be like, educating business owners about their obligations as a business owners. For example, like paying your employees or keeping up to date with superannuation or keeping up to date with tax obligations. And then a bunch of other questions and meeting would be about business consultancy. How do I, how would they want to grow the business? And then they want to check about profitability margin. Are they performing at the margin that they should be doing? And any areas in the business that they can, improve further so that they could work I'm sure that a lot of business owners want to be working less but making more, so that they could the business could run on itself not having them to babysit the business as the startup, which yeah, so that's a lot of like, you know, in-depth knowledge and consultation about the business, about the industry, about how the whether they would operate the business and manage the team, etc.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you do kind of like two key elements. One is it sounds like it's more like an auditing type of role with NDIS where you audit the
Mm,
claims that people make and you're like the intermediary between the two.
mm.
And then you do like the business consulting for um, a bunch of businesses in terms
Yes.
of compliance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And in terms of like the business accounting that you do, what type of industry would you say is kind of like the main industry that
Mm.
you work with?
The main industry right now is NDS businesses. So NDS disability centers or
Okay.
disability care providers that provide the services for disabled people. That could be
Yeah.
medical clinic like Ally Health. After that are retails and hospitalities, like, you know, restaurants or nail salons, beauty
Mm,
salons. And then the third category that would be like factories, manufacturing, that they produce cabinet kitchen or
okay.
constructions, like part of construction industry, but they more like into manufacturing.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It sounds like you have quite a niche in terms of NDIS, like as in like you're really like specialized in that area. So it's a pretty interesting area. Like what kind of got you into that like specific
Mm.
area?
Yes, not many accountants in the market actually like right now. I'm sure that not in the future, more and more people will be understanding about the NDS industry, but not many accountants in the market currently understand about the NDS. So basically, it started off with like COVID, you know. I set up HiCom Accounting, and then one of my accounting clients and also a very good friend in my Vietnamese community, she runs her own clinic, which she provides allied health services for a lot of disabled people. And then she's like, why don't you become NDS plan manager? And at the time, I was like, what is in this time manager? I don't even understand what it is.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. So obviously we don't have anything else to do. I just sit at home reading a bunch of like rules and regulations and then like, oh, what is this one? And then it seems like it's quite like, you know, easy enough for me. So I just register to get my license. My license come back like in 2 or 3 months, and after that, from 3 clients that my friend introduced, now we managing like thousands of clients, participant, just from thousands of other networks, and also
Yeah.
NDS business owners that introducing and um, giving us their clients because they having the problems with other NDS payment jobs. So that kind of like how I started. The more I work into it, the more I realize that like a lot of NDS businesses that face the same issue. That they don't have an accountant who understand what is line item, what is cost support, what is capacity building support, what is capital support, those kind of things. They have to sit down and talk to their accountant of what it is about NDS before the accountant could actually help them with the business.
Mhm.
And the general knowledge in the market, like right now, the reputation of NDS is really bad. The general knowledge in the market would just be like as soon as you tell somebody that you run an NDS business, then everybody would think that you are dodgy, because
Mhm.
that's how bad the reputation is. But actually, in NDS, there's like 15 different supports. You could be doctor, you could be caretaker, you could be NDS plan manager. For us, like us as the accountant, NDS plan manager, we get paid set amount of fee, 104.45 cent, no, $104.45 per month to manage one client. It doesn't matter is that one invoice, 2 invoices, or 10 invoices. So there's no
Mhm.
way for an NDS plan manager to be dodgy in the scheme. That's kind of thing. So when we onboard NDS business owners as our client, all I need to do is like, do you provide core or you provide ally help or what is it in NDS that you do? So as soon as they tell me that they are the core support, then I know exactly what is the margin that you should be running on. And if they tell me that they're allied health, then I know that this section of allied health that doesn't make money, the other section of allied health that would make money, kind of thing. So that is one of the reasons why we set ourselves apart from other accountants by going into niche, understanding in depth in one industry, to provide your clients the best value possible. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I always see like, yeah, the money is in the niches of like these like little niches that people don't think about, or sometimes it's even like the unsexy niches that no one wants to do, and that's where, yeah, the money is, because not many people know about it. So yeah, that's awesome. And then so you said you went from like free clients to thousands of clients. What did that kind of like look like? Like what's like, how do you find new clients? I know you said a little bit, some people like they would do a bad job and then you would get referred. So is that kind of like you mainly grew that through word of mouth, or how do you kind of like, how did you grow that, and how do you currently like get clients?
Well, definitely not an overnight success because it has been like 6 years already. Um, so for the first 3 years, no, for the first 2 years that were not growing really well because obviously we were no one. So we basically just had couple of networks in the Vietnamese community that we just spread the words around. And then people like, because at the time, 2019, there was no, I wouldn't say no, but there wasn't many Vietnamese plan managers. Now I think there's about two or three, but we are probably the only one Vietnamese plan manager that stems from an accounting company. Um, Pretty much other people they would have a background in health or in like social work, and then they know the industry, so now they just like an extension of the other services. They do NDIS plan management so that they can claim other invoices from their other services, whereas we only do NDIS plan management. We don't do other services in NDIS, so we
Yeah.
become independent and no conflict of interest NDIS plan manager. So if you refer the clients for me, you don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna steal the other services that the clients could be having the funding to pay for. So we only do one thing, which is the bookkeeping for the participant. That's the first thing. And then after that, I won a bunch of business awards and also a bunch of like business grants for businesses that led by women and as a startup. I think the first grant that I won was 270K. So we developed the idea that we're gonna code a software that's very easy to use for Vietnamese people who having troubles navigating the NDS scheme while speaking English as a second language. Imagine this way, Leo. Let's say the government gonna say that I'm gonna give you 50K in benefits, but that benefits that I'm gonna give you is in Chinese language. You read it, you probably don't understand what it is. You probably don't even understand what sort of benefits that you actually have. So we develop like a software, and then later on it's open up into like a cloud system with an in-house software for us to process all the invoice. And then if you are the participant, then you got a mobile app on your phone. Whatever invoices that we process under your name, that will show into your mobile app. And then the other service provider or support coordinator who refer us the clients. Let's say you are the support coordinator or the service provider who got 5 clients with me, sharing with me, mutual clients. You can see all of your clients on your platform. So the more clients that you give it to us, then the easier for you to manage your own portfolio of clients. And then after that, because of that, it expanded the networks and also the number of clients. And then later on, as I do business, because first 3-4 years you do the business, it's pretty much like an idiot.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
make a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of things you're like, oh, I should have thought of this before. And then I'm like, oh, because all of this NDS people's, right, they would have their own networks. So at first I would just be like, if you have more clients who need NDIS plan manager, please just introduce us with. The correct way would be bring me into your networks rather than just the clients. Does it make sense? Because like as an accountant, I would know other accountants. So as a NDS service providers, you would know other NDS service providers who would have clients. No, the first way, the first couple of years, just like, oh, if you have clients, just let us know. And then later on, we like bring us into your networks. All the other service providers who are having the same problems like you having, they're probably looking for somebody like me. And since we figure out the way, like, and also at that time, the tool, the platform, the software already in place, people use that. People are like, oh, it's so easy to work with you guys. We really fast, really responsive, whereas many other people, like you call them and then you wait for like an hour. It's just like when you call for Optus or Telstra, you wait for an hour. Imagine now if there's another service provider that come into the place with the system, and then within like you call me, we pick up straight away. That's what we do. So I think the best marketing here is in the quality of the product and the services that we provide. So getting from 0 to 100 probably hard, but getting from 100 to 300, that would be easier than getting from 0 to 100, and then from 300 to 1,000. So after 3 years, we got about 1,000. And then after year 4, we got like about 1,500. And then it's just, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that was all through just word of mouth and just having a really good product.
We also do a bunch of community events as well. So my mantra is that like I need my community to grow. I'm not sure about other communities, but one thing that I'm proud of is that Vietnamese people have really strong community in most of the major cities. Like, like Melbourne have really strong hubs and big hubs of Vietnamese people. So I always want to give back to our participants every year, even though we are not the direct support. We don't see them face to face. So every year we throw big parties, like, our traditional events, on our traditional days. For example, it could be Lunar New Year, or it could be like Moon Festival. And then we invite all the NDS family, come over, have fun, have food, play games, spend together for a day, and then no charge. It's just like something that we want to give back to people. And that also helps people to, like clients also, because, one NDS family would know other NDS families, and then they would just like spreading out within their network of friends and families. So, but the main core that I would say is the quality of service that we provide.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think not that many people can say they've got such a solid product just to get just from like word of mouth and having like a really cool product. So that's awesome. And then what's kind of like the goals for like the rest of the year that you're trying to achieve?
So I used to have goals. For example, like for the HiCom Accounting one, I was like, because I was working as an accountant, not like you work at Big Four, which is fancy. I applied for Big Four and I didn't get accepted because I didn't have PR at the time.
Yeah.
So I worked for a small firm that my boss took about 6 years to get to $1 million, I think. And then that $1 million mark, it's just always in my head. So when I set up HiCom Accounting, I'm just like, I need to get to $1 million, and I need to get to $1 million. And the problem with having goals is that when you haven't reached that, you always have anxiety, you always have stress, you always like, when is that the time? And by the time you get there, right, you're like, it's like a deflated balloon. It's like you've been pushing so hard, and then the moment you get there, you're like, oh, you don't want to try further anymore. Because you feel like, oh, the bigger we get, the more problems we're gonna have, so I'm just gonna stay more. But actually, now I've been doing business for 6 years. I've realized that if you're small, you have small problems. If you're big, you have big problems. They are problems. It doesn't matter if you're small or big. So now I stop putting goals as in like 1 meal, 2 meal, 3 meal, 4 meal, 5 meal. Now I'm more like every week, every 2 weeks, my team lead or my managers need to be able to detect 3 issues in the team. Find me every 3 problems or 3 issues every 2 weeks or every week, and then tell me your solution. Because I feel like if all the problems that we have, as long as we constantly tackle the problems, then we keep going big. But I don't have a goal or have a number as if like how big will that be? I think I'm just gonna keep going, and as long as my manager and my staff and my team lead can just keep dealing with the problems, can just keep detecting the issue, and then we have the solution for the issues. Then we just keep going up.
Okay. And then so I guess then along those lines, so you keep looking for the problems more. What would you say is kind of like the key problems that you're seeing that you keep kind of like having to tackle, or that you feel like you will need to face?
I guess one main problem that repeated again and again and again and again for me, like a couple of years ago, and for many business owners that I know or I'm working with right now, the main problem for businesses in Australia is that they don't have very good and quality staff. Not enough good stuff. Because the key is the guys, right? The key is the team. If the guys are actually like being productive, then the business will be productive. And I had that problem for like about first year of my business, but now I don't have that problem anymore. And my recruitment is quite good right now. Everybody is quite sticky, and my staff are having really good productivity. And the reason that we could get to the point where we are right now is at first the same thing about the goals. Like we need to reach here, we need to reach here. So we kind of like recruit out of desperation because we need to get here. Now my solution is like if I have good stuff, then I grow with good people. If I don't have good stuff, I'm not gonna go with those people and then just clean after their mess. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that I could deal with that staffing issue is that having KPI. So before, as a startup, you don't have a KPI. You kind of like walking in the dark. You kind of like, oh, don't know how or what does it mean when a person is being productive. So now we kind of like having clear KPI and everybody hitting the KPI, meaning that when the KPI is met, that means the business keep going up from every department, like from sales, customer service to like, supporting people to processing to admin, like all the department you have clear and achievable KPI. So now once the team and the guys are settled, now we're starting to detect other issue, as in like, okay, with this much productivity, with this, we need this much people. Can we cut down people but still maintain the same productivity? What are the new things in the market? Oh, AI is like, so we implemented AI in our NDIS invoicing process. And before the KPI was like one productive day of a staff could be anywhere from 100 to 130 invoices. Now they all jump up to like 150 to 170. So we increase like at least about 50% of people productivity. I know that that's not a big jump. There's still room for improvement, but at the same time, I as a business owner need to learn AI as well. So I need to learn that first. Yeah, so that is the main issue right now, how we can ride with the market, having a higher productivity, implement more AI into the business so that we can cut out unnecessarily labor. So yeah, that's the only issue right now that we're looking at.
Yeah. Okay. And then so what would you say, because obviously so you touched on AI, how would you see it kind of like changing what you do as a business? Like how is that going to have an impact like moving forward? Because it's crazy what you can do with AI these days. Like I even have it be my own like personal trainer and write me gym programs and all this stuff. So yeah, how do you kind of see like AI changing like what you do as a business owner?
So in terms of tax, obviously more challenging because a bunch of clients just like AI their stuff and then ChatGPT and like, oh, ChatGPT say this, how can we say this?
Mm,
And it's not entirely correct, you know. You have to verify a lot of the time and sometimes I'm not sure about you, but sometimes do you feel like ChatGPT doesn't have the knowledge, so it's just sort of like just writing itself
it
instead of having
hallucinates.
any
Yeah.
yes instead of having any verifiable sources. So
Hmm.
it's definitely challenging in terms of like having to fight back with the clients that no, this is not the correct knowledge. This is what it
Hmm.
is. This is what it say on the ATO. And then they're like, oh, how come ChatGPT say this? Like, I'm not here to fight with you about how ChatGPT say this, but then there's the rules and there's the regulation. Not
Hmm.
that's not many cases like that because I
Hmm.
believe that like AI gonna get into the habit of many young business owners in the future, like a generation who's like 5, 10 years old younger than
Hmm.
us. But now for the
Yeah.
current generation of business owners that and then I focus into like hospitality, those business owners they don't have a habit of like constantly AI searching for the stuff that they need. So not much change in that regards. For NDIS, it's not like you can just chat GPT with it because there's a bunch of even people working in NDIS don't even know what is going on. So it's
Mm.
not like you can AI that stuff. But in terms of like for my own team, it definitely like accelerates the learning curve. In the past, their issue with text or consultation, right? You probably have to spend days searching, reading example, and then
Mhm.
for the part of knowledge that's stuck in your head, and that doesn't make sense. Now, if they have that insecurity of like coming to the boss and ask, this part doesn't make sense to me because I remember when I was a newbie. I don't know what about you, but when we were a newbie, we sit there with a bunch of partners. They say, but and then for us, it's like, oh damn it, I don't. This is so
Yeah.
scary. This is all difficult stuff. But for my
Yeah.
staff now, I everyone we request them to have like a um a chat GPT beginner certificate. So remember 20
Hmm.
years ago when we go to work you need to have a Microsoft Office certificate as if like you efficient in using Microsoft. Now is the AI
Hmm.
generation, everyone should have at least like ChatGPT beginner certificate showing that you're able to use ChatGPT at your work. And we also use Google Suite, which everyone got one account of Google Gemini. I love Google Gemini. um
Yeah.
you can do a bunch of like marketing videos with it with a bunch of prompts and you
Hmm.
turn it like you change from PDF into Excel in just so quick. So I think that it definitely helped us a lot with like junior staff who can just Google who can just AI for them to explain all the difficult and complicated problems and break down it
Hmm.
into easy smaller problem for them to understand, so that definitely
Hmm.
accelerates their learning curve. um, Zero, QuickBooks, and YLB, a bunch of accounting software also implement AI in normal daily task. So that
Hmm.
helps. I am thinking of, and because a lot of social media keeps saying that like in a couple of years, the job as an accountant going to be replaced by AI,
Hmm.
which I'm not sure how much of it's going to be true. I do believe that like we have to turn into the way of like working by providing more consultancy, by providing more
Hmm.
consultation to what the business owners rather than just normal like processing task.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. And apart from it, I also diversify my investment portfolio into other industries, other sectors that less likely going to be replaced by AI as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got to be careful in terms of the AI hallucinating because it can sometimes you just say stuff and then a lot of people, like you said, just take it at face value and they don't even question it.
Mm.
So that's why I
Yeah.
always like when I do it, I always like just logic fact check what it says. But another thing that's pretty good is I don't know if like Perplexity, it's another language model similar to ChatGPT, and I find it's good to like reference the two as well. And then I
Ah,
might take I might take and I go to Perplexity and I'm like, hey, ChatGPT told me this. Can you fact check this and make sure the information that they provided is accurate? And it's
Mm.
pretty helpful, especially when you're making some pretty good,
Mm.
pretty big like decisions. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
good tip.
definitely. But
Yeah, thank
Perplexity.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, Perplexity
Yeah.
is also another free one. Yeah, like ChatGPT. And then
Mm.
so you said it sounds like so an element as well is like just like educating your clients a little bit in terms of like what they can get, what they can't get. Because you said like with ChatGPT, they might think they can get one thing, and then you need to educate them. Okay, actually, you can. It's actually more like this. Is that right?
Yes. Sometimes, like, what I find with ChatGPT is that like there's certain rules about ATO that's not what ChatGPT would say, or that's not the normal practice
Yeah.
that we would do. Then ChatGPT would just override that knowledge and then would
Mm.
just write in its own knowledge. Um,
Yeah.
so so we show the client that, and the good thing is that once or twice that you already shown the client that you are correct, then later on they have more trust into you, so
Mm.
that problem's not going to happen in the future again. But I guess
Mm.
the key is that you just have to deal with either big enough clients or complex enough client. If the clients are big enough, meaning that they're busy enough, they just gonna, once I put my business into your hand, I trust you guys. Like I can use AI, but you guys can use AI as well. If I ask
Yeah.
one question, AI just gonna answer me the same answer as it, give it to you, but you have the knowledge to verify
Yeah.
if that telling the truth or telling the correct information or not. I
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah.
So, and I use the same logic when I use other services. For example, if I use a service by lawyer, yeah, I can charge GPT that one. But then lawyer will be
Hmm.
the one that have the knowledge to verify that instead of me.
Mm.
So either the big enough clients, they because the bigger you are, the more you have a tendency of like you need to trust people in order to do
Mhm.
big things, right? Or the
Yeah.
complex enough clients, because there's a lot of complex things that AI cannot deal with. So you just
Mhm.
have to tailor your business into either big enough or complex enough groups
Mhm.
of clients, and then as an accountant, you should be fine. Like we're just getting busier and busier after every tax year. We don't getting less and less busy. So
Yeah.
I'm still staying hopeful in this game so far.
Yeah.
But who knows? In 5 years, I probably change to podcast.
Maybe. Yeah. Everyone seems to be doing a podcast these days.
No, I think you're doing I think you're doing a good job, and I think that's the way to go. Um, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then I guess like to finish things off, what's kind of like the main projects that you're going to be working on like the next few months? What's kind of like the main thing that you guys are going to be like focusing on?
So like I said, we're probably gonna diversify our investment portfolio into something less AI, or less likely that AI gonna be able to replace. So I'm learning heaps in that, because like I never thought that I would be interested into something like labor, heavy labor. For example, like a truck company that would be
Mhm.
good, or some sort of business that it provides services to council to go to collect garbage on the
Yeah.
road.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a very good business actually. um
Yeah.
and some other businesses, like boring business, but that less likely to be replaced by AI, and the profitability margin is also quite well as well. And as soon as
Hmm.
that we step our toes into that field, we probably have more knowledge into that. So hopefully they're gonna tune in more clients for accounting in that niche.
Yeah.
Um, so that's another thing in the next couple of years. And I'm learning a bunch of like private equity, just through social media shorts and videos that people do private equities, and they're all recommending to like boring businesses.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely like kind of what I was doing as well when I got started into this whole like AI space. And I was just looking, okay, in the next 5 years, what business
Mm,
I start where it's going to be like still there in 5 years' time with how much AI and technology and everything
mm,
is changing. So yeah, that's definitely a good way to go about things. Cool. Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Did you have anything else like to share before we kind of sign off?
No, all good. Thank you for the invitation, and I hope everything goes well with your channel. And hopefully, there's a chance that we can cross again and do another interview.
Yeah,
So,
likewise. And
yeah,
next time that the camera will be better as well, because I know you were telling me that yeah, I just got to figure out the how to use a Mac, and then the camera is going to be better, and audio is probably going to be better as well. So yeah, it's in the
thank
works.
you.
And then so if anyone wants to like reach out and find you, how can they yeah go about finding you or connecting?
Pretty much just Google HiCom Accounting, HiCom Care.
Mhm.
Then our information is all like available on pretty much social platforms like Google or Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, we just one phone call away, and we always return our missed calls during the day.
Awesome. That's also very good. Not many businesses do that, so that's awesome. Sweet. Yeah, and I'll put the links below the video. So yeah, appreciate you coming on, and hope everyone
Thank you so much.
enjoyed the show.
Appreciate the talk. Thank you. Thanks. All the best. Talk soon. Bye.